few days have passed, and Tuesday has rolled round. Fateful Tuesday, when Star is to appear before the school board for her examination. She's told Captain January nothing of her meeting with the lady on the mainland, so the captain's only worry is how to help Star pass. Alone in the lighthouse, he studies a book of grammar, but his brow is furrowed with deep lines as he struggles with the conjugation of the verb to be.
I was, you were, he was, we were, you were, they was, were. That can't be right. Something's all mixed up here. Oh, why didn't I go to school instead of running away to sea?
Morning, Cap.
Oh, hello.
What are you doing, Cap?
Oh, nothing.
I thought you were going to help me with my examination.
No, I am. Let's see.
How about starting off with a little grammar?
Grammar? Oh, grammar? Oh. No. They won't ask you anything about grammar. We'll begin with arithmetic. Recite the multiplication by 5 table.
Cap, that's kid stuff.
You've
got to make it tougher than that.
All right. We'll do the 7 table. Go ahead.
Cap, that's for babies. 8 years old, Cap.
8 years old? 8 years old and they know the multiplication by 7 table?
Sure they do.
Never heard of it until I was 23. Well, all right. We'll skip the arithmetic. Now, let's get on to geography.
Oh, geography. I like that.
Now, here we go. Now, if you were sailing from Boston Harbor to China, to what point of the compass would you turn her nose on the second day out?
Cap, I don't think that's the way they ask them.
No, why not?
Well, Captain Nazaro said...
Nazaro, always Nazaro.
Did I hear my name mentioned?
Hello, Captain. Sit down.
What do you want?
Nothing with you, you desiccated old crawfish. But I thought I'd come and help Star get ready for the examination. You being so illiterate.
Me illiterate? I can spell you down, write you down, read you down, and figure you down. And I can do it with my hands tied behind my back.
No, you couldn't. You need your fingers to count on.
Is that so? I'll bet you can't count over 10 without taking your shoes off.
Look, fellers, I don't like to interfere with your fun, but fighting isn't going to help me pass this test.
She's right. But this might help.
What is it?
Well, you see, Star, I figured it might help things along if we knew the questions they was going to ask. Now, this here is the examination paper. I borrowed it from the schoolroom.
Captain Nazaro, that's cheating.
It is?
Of course it is, isn't it, Cap?
Well, yes, it's a very delicate point. We'll talk about it later on. Let's see that paper, Nazaro.
Yeah.
Now, Star, the first question. Here. If a field is 87.5 rods long and 43.25 rods wide, what is the length of the diagonal drawn from the northeast corner to the southwest corner? Prove it.
Well, what's the answer?
What's the answer, Nazaro?
Well, how much is a rod? How many fathoms?
Would it do you any good to know?
No.
Well, then keep quiet. Prove that heat expands.
Wait a minute. What's that?
That's the second question.
But we didn't get the answer to the first one.
Well, we're skipping the first one. Prove that heat expands.
Prove that heat expands. What does it mean?
Why, it means prove that heat makes things bigger.
Well, let's see. Sure it does. Look, it's hot in the summertime, isn't it? Well, the days are longer in summer than they are in winter. Well,
that's it.
Sounds logical to me.
100%.
Say, this isn't so tough. What's number 3?
Write down from memory the quality of mercy speech from the Merchant of Venice.
The quality of mercy is not strained.
Is that all?
I think it goes on from there.
Maybe, but my memory doesn't.
This is a put-up job. That old hatchet face of a school teacher's trying to frame us.
Hey, let me see that paper.
There's no child of 13 could answer this stuff. I can't answer it myself.
Wait. I think I've made a mistake.
What?
This is a high school examination.
High school? So you can't even steal proper.
I didn't know. I picked it up in the schoolroom. It said examination. How was I to know there's different tests for different ages?
That's right. How was you to know? You'd never passed a 13-year-old test, did you?
I could have passed one.
Maybe when you was full grown.
Look, fellas, we're not getting any place. I've got to leave for school soon.
Oh, say, I was thinking, with me telling that Morgan woman that I was teaching Star from the Bible, that's pretty apt to be some questions about the Bible.
Well, there ain't many children as up in the book as she is.
I know, but Star, what are the 4 Gospels?
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Fine. Now, remember that story I read to you last week about the prodigal son?
Uh-huh. And the father said, bring out the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry.
Correct. But everybody wasn't merry, Star. There was a brother there and neighbors. Now, who was sorry the prodigal son came back?
The fatted calf.
Star!
Ladies and gentlemen of the school board, I think you know why we are here today. This child, Star of January, I believe they call her, is to take the 13-year-old test. Sit over there, please.
Thank you.
We also have another student here, a little gentleman from New York. Gerald is going to summer school this year. Sit down, Gerald, dear.
Oh, all right.
Judge Hardrow.
Yes?
Judge, I've invited you here for a very special reason. I don't believe this little girl is being brought up properly. But I let you judge that for yourself. You'll know what to do, I'm sure.
I think so. Begin the examination, Mrs. Morgan.
Now, children, first we'll have an oral test. On the blackboard, you will notice a drawing of 8 fishing schooners.
Excuse me, but they aren't schooners, Mrs. Morgan. They're ketches.
What's that?
You said schooners, but they're really ketches.
I don't believe that makes any difference.
Oh, but it does. You see, a schooner carries its mainmast amidships, and a ketch is more like a yawl. You see...
That will be enough, please.
Yes, ma'am.
On the board, we have 8 ketches. If 4 could carry a load of 100 tons of fish, and 4 could carry twice as much, how many tons could they all carry half-filled? Well, Star?
Well, in the first place, I don't believe you could get 100 tons of fish on a ketch.
That's not the question.
But the boat would sink. They couldn't carry anything.
Be quiet.
Yes, ma'am.
Gerald, do you know the answer?
Half-filled, the 8 boats could carry 600 tons of fish.
Not on top of the water.
No muttering, please. Thank you, Gerald. Now, Star, will you please define a relative pronoun?
What, ma'am?
A relative pronoun. Surely you know that.
No, ma'am.
A relative pronoun is a pronoun that connects 2 clauses and has its antecedents in the other clause.
Very good, Gerald.
Wow.
And now we'll have a test of words and power of description. Gerald, will you please tell us in your own words the story of one of William Shakespeare's plays?
Well, once there was a man named, Romeo. And there was a girl, Juliet.
Go on, dear.
Well, her family was called,
The Capulets.
the Capulets. And his family were named,
Montague.
Star, will you please stop annoying Gerald?
I'm not annoying him. I just want to help him.
Do you? And just what do you know of the story of Romeo and Juliet?
Oh, we've got it over at the lighthouse. I read it twice.
And you understood it, of course.
Oh, sure. You see, these Capulets and these Montagues, they hated each other like poison.
Never mind.
So Romeo and Juliet, they couldn't mate. So they met in the garden, sort of on the fly.
I beg your pardon.
The balcony, you know. Well, they couldn't get married on account of the old folks were on speaking terms. So this Juliet, she takes a drug and knocks herself cold.
Please.
So what happens? So they stick her in a box and ship her off to a vault. It's as cold as a herring in there. And Romeo thinks she's a gunner. Just then a fellow named Paris walks in, and they get into a scrap.
Just a moment.
What a battle. Romeo stabs Paris. Paris stabs Romeo.
Will you please?
Romeo stabs Paris. It's a fight to the finish, and the next thing you know, Paris is on the floor, stabbed through the skittles.
What was that?
The skittles. So then Romeo...
Stop it at once.
But that's not the end yet. Then Romeo...
Be quiet. Now, Judge Hardrow, you see what I mean.
I see.
You see the kind of bringing up she's had? What are we going to do with her?
Put her in the 8th grade. She's wonderful.
8th grade, he says. Put her in the 8th grade. Here, Nazareth, have some more cider.
Thank you.
Pretty good for a fella that never had much book learning.
What's book learning got to do with cider?
I ain't talking about cider. I'm talking about educating Star so good that she jumps right into the 8th grade.
You educating her. Why, you couldn't get into the 3rd grade yourself. It was the things I learned that put her through.
Why, you... Who is it?
It's Winthrop, Captain.
The minister.
Oh, come in, sir, come in.
Morning, Captain.
Morning, sir. Come in and sit down.
Thank you. Morning, Nazro.
Morning, Mr. Winthrop.
What brings you all the way out here, Mr. Winthrop? If it's Star you came to see, she's in school. 8th grade.
I came to see you, January. In a way, I'm glad that Star isn't here.
Huh?
It's about her that I came to speak to you.
Well, what is it? Is it bad news?
Bad news and good. It depends on the way you look at it.
Go on.
Captain, a lady came to my house yesterday. A lady and a gentleman. Their name is Easton. They're visitors here.
Well?
They asked me a lot about Star, about where she came from and how long ago. I told them about the night you found her on the beach.
You told them?
We talked for a long time, Captain. And I told them I would bring them out here tonight. You see, they want to take Star. They want to bring her to Boston to give her a home there.
Why? Why?
Because from what they told me, I have no doubt that Star is Mrs. Easton's niece.
And all we heard was that my sister had been lost in a shipwreck. When we came back to America, we tried to learn more about it, but they told us that everyone had been lost. Then we came up here. When I saw the child, I almost knew then. She looked so much like my sister. And then the locket. I know she's my niece, Captain January. She's my sister's child.
And what if she is?
Captain.
What if she is, I say? What have you done for her? Did you take her out of the sea, raging like the devil's let loose, and death itself howling for the child? Did you take her from her mother's arms and swear to the Lord as helped in saving her, to do as should be done by her? Have you prayed and worked and sweated for her, and lived in fear someday she'd be taken from you? Have you?
Captain January.
I ask your pardon, ma'am.
Please believe me. I know what this means to you. And if it weren't for the child's own good, I wouldn't ask you to let me take her.
We can give her everything she wants, Captain. A home, schooling, and more important, I think we can make her happy.
For the child's own good. There's a thought, isn't it? There's something to hold on to. You say you can prove that she's your niece.
We have the passenger list from the Huntress. The mother and child were both registered.
And then there's the locket. There was a picture in it. My sister and her baby, taken when she was a year old. My sister was wearing a white dress, smiling and looking down at the child. Is that picture still there?
Yes, it's there.
I don't think there's any question that Mrs. Easton is Star's aunt, Captain.
No, there's no question.
Then you'll let us take her.
The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. It's His will, then. But I'll ask you to do it easy, for it'll be sudden-like for the girl. And she ain't used to being took sudden. My ways being slow.
We'll be very careful, Captain.